England, 1605. At the time, England was torn between Catholics and Protestants. The Protestants were in power and were suppressing the Catholics. Naturally, the Catholics were not too happy about this. Enter a man named Robert Catesby. He wanted to regain Catholic control of Britain by blowing up the House of Parliament, with the entire Parliament and King James I inside. A man named Guy Fawkes, who had spent some time as a soldier in the Netherlands, was assigned to carry out the plot. And this plot would end up being something celebrated in Britain for its failure for hundreds of years. The plotters, or conspirators, rented a basement house beneath the House of Lords, and over a period of a few weeks, carted over 1,800 pounds of gunpowder inside. Gunpowder is a low explosive, made from a mixture of saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal. Its chemical formula is this: 10 KNO3 plus 3S plus 8C. The Chinese discovered it in between 1100 and 1200 AD. They're not quite sure when. It was used in guns, cannons, and explosives. Unlike modern explosives that are much more powerful, gunpowder does not completely turn to gas when it combusts. Instead, only about half of it, a little bit less, turns to gas, while the other half remains as powder, meaning it's a low explosive. But at the time, it was high enough to get the job done. To understand the exact amount of energy that would have been released in the Guy Fawkes plot, we start by determining its molar mass. Basically, the molar mass of a substance is the amount of grams 1 mole, or 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of a substance, weighs. A mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Gunpowder has a molar mass of 1,202 grams per mole. The conspirators had placed 1,800 pounds of gunpowder underneath the House of Lords. With a little dimensional analysis, we can convert the 1,800 pounds of gunpowder to grams. We get 816,466.27 grams. With a little division, we can find out exactly how many moles of gunpowder Guy Fawkes had. There were 679.25 moles of gunpowder in the basement of the House of Lords. Roughly half of that would have been converted to gas, and that expanded gas is what would have torn the House of Lords off of its foundations. To find the exact amounts of pressure and the volume of the gases released, we need the full equation for a gunpowder explosion, which I've calculated for you, oh so handily. 10 KNO3 plus 3S plus 8C reacts to 2K2CO3 plus 3K2SO4 plus 6CO2 plus 5N2. That means for 1 mole of gunpowder, we produce 6 moles of CO2 and 5 moles of N2. This corresponds to 11 moles of gases released from 1 mole of gunpowder in solid form. We have 679.25 moles of gunpowder. So we multiply the two numbers and find that we have 7,471.75 moles of gas that would have been released if the Guy Fawkes bomb had gone off. The amount of gas that would have been released from this is 167,367.2 liters. For comparison, that's the equivalent of roughly 700 refrigerators. Imagine cramming 700 refrigerators in one small room. Yeah, that's how much gas was crammed in there. And it would not be happy, would it? If we knew the exact volume of the room in which the explosion was planned to take place, we could find the pressure of it. Since we don't, it is impossible to find the exact amount of pressure. You determine the pressure of a substance by using the ideal gas law, which describes the pressure of a gas when you have found the volume, temperature, number of moles, and a constant that is used to make the units work together. The equation is P equals TRN over P. P meaning pressure, T being the temperature of the gas, N being the number of moles, and V being the volume. You thought I forgot about R, didn't you? R is just a constant that is used to make all of the units work. So with the ideal gas law, we would have been able to find the amount of pressure being exerted on the building if we knew the other variables. Since we don't have the information necessary, it is impossible to find the exact pressure of the explosion. It would have been more than enough, though, to cause the 16th century building to collapse, killing all of the people inside. So we're left to wonder, what exactly would have happened if they'd blown up the building?